Hey you guys, so this is somewhat of a public service announcement. I have to be honest, and I don't know what's gonna happen when I tell you guys this, but there is a man out there named James. He is ex-military, ex-cop, multiple black belts, just got inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and he goes on Bumble and all of these websites getting girls out there so he can be with them and date them and convince them that he loves them and he's gonna marry them. He goes house hunting with them. He might even get some of them pregnant. He got me pregnant. I had a miscarriage last year. We went house hunting. I moved into the apartment with him. I was there all the way up until January. I didn't go the whole month of January because we were getting ready to break up. And then he's been trying to get back with me ever since. But apparently he's living with a girl. And I had this inkling, and this PSA is for women to understand, and men. If you have a feeling, an intuition, trust it. Because no one is gonna protect you the way you will protect you. You know something is off. You know something is wrong. But you ignore yourself because you don't wanna believe that someone could be so evil that they will talk to multiple women in multiple states and make them feel like they're the one that they're gonna be with. He lies to them and he's like, oh, I love you, I wanna be with you, I can't wait to move there, I'm gonna be with. Lies, just so he can get naked pictures of you. I never did the naked picture thing, just so you guys know. No naked pictures, no videos. I wanna be a politician one day possibly, but you know, if that arises, I'll take, you know, but I've seen his phone, you know. Desiree Rivera, he's got a lot of you. Then there is Christine Sarjuro. You were one of his victims. Mary Ellen, if you're still talking to him, be very careful if you see this video. Polly and James, your son needs help. So you can sit there and he can go to church every single weekend, but until you counsel him with his sex addiction and his inability to be faithful to any human being, like, we just went to Rye Playland today. He was trying to get back with me. He just sent me a message, which I have on July 15th, which was only a few days ago, that Myra, I missed you in my life. He sent me 2 videos to watch that were saying that if I could just have one more day with you, you know, I just want to spend my life with you. Like, he's basically telling me, I want to get back with you. Meanwhile, he has a girl living in his house. So what did I do? I had a feeling. And I was driving home after Rye Playland. I'm telling you guys this because you need to learn. Nobody learns until you hear these stories, right? I was driving home from Rye Playland and something was like, Myra, I was going to get back with him. I was really going to get back with him. He convinced me. You know, he's like, I haven't been with anybody since we broke up. I've only been waiting for you. You know, you keep getting mad at me and blah, blah, blah. And I know it was a lie. I felt it. I can feel it. I'm an empath. So I feel things. I know when someone's lying immediately. And he's like, I just want to be with you and spend whatever time we could spend together before you leave. I'll wait for you the whole year. Like, he was very convincing that he wanted to be with me and he knew I was the one and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, I know there's someone living in his house. And then he told me about his cousin. This is the 3rd time that his cousin lives with him and I can't come by the house because his cousin's there. I knew that it was not his cousin, it was a girl that he's living with. So this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because when I was pregnant and I wanted to see him, he was like, I can't, my cousin's staying with me, you can't come now. And it wasn't until his cousin left that I was allowed to go to his apartment. And then I was like, I can't be here because I feel all of these multiple women's energies. You need to move. So he moved right around the corner. And I was like, okay, we started a new life together. And then I felt more feminine energy on him. I could feel that. You trust yourself. I'm like, there's a lot of women. It's a lot of women. I could feel it. And it disturbed me to my core that I had to break up with him. I couldn't be happy with someone like that. I can sense it. And I was right. I wasn't wrong. I confronted all those women. I was right. Now there's this one. So I went to his house after I Playland. I'm driving home and I'm like, you're never gonna get over this until you find out the truth. I made a U-turn. I went back to his house and guess what? He told me he had to go to work and he couldn't be there. So I see him in the car and he's like, I'm like, hey, are you gonna introduce me to your cousin Chris? And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I came here to meet your cousin Chris. You keep telling me you're living with your cousin. He said, my cousin Chris is staying with me. He just got a divorce from his wife. He needs a place to stay, so I'm letting him stay with me. I'm like, why is it that all your cousins stay with you? Because I'm the only one that lets them stay. And I'm like, why is it that you're the only one when your family has houses and empty rooms, but they always stay with you in this tiny little space? And he's just like, I don't know. So I was suspicious. So I was like, I want to meet this Chris. So I'm like, are you going to introduce me to Chris? He's like, Myra, I got to go to work. I'm like, can I introduce myself? He's like, do whatever you want. He got in his car and drove away. I went to the front door, and guess who? Behold, guess who opens the door? Guess who's there? A girl. She calls him, there's somebody in front of our door. And I'm like, our door? I was like, are you his girlfriend? She's like, yes. I'm like, I just need to tell you, I spent all day with him. You need to look at his credit card receipt. We were at Rye Playland. I was like, he was trying to get back with me. I have all the text messages. I have all the proof. I'm not saying this. I'm not trying to break you up. If you want to be with him, be with him. But understand, you're not the only one. I was like, he's cheating on you with at least 5 other women because this is his thing. You know what I mean? He likes to date multiple women, and he likes to feel desired and sexy and whatever, but he likes to have one girl at home. I was the one girl last year. I was pregnant with his baby. I had a miscarriage. I just left this apartment. We moved into this apartment together. I just left in January. I'm just telling you from woman to woman because nobody told me. I had to find out. And I'm telling you this, if you guys just say, oh, she's stupid. No, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I'm very educated. I'm very smart. But I loved him. Okay, and when you love somebody, you want to believe the good in them. When you're living with them and you're pregnant with their baby, like you're hormonal, like you want to believe it. But I knew from the core of my soul that this was not a good man and he was lying to me. He may be good in every other part of his life, but when it comes to women and love and being faithful and committed, he's horrible. And that's why the mother of his child is saying that she doesn't feel safe with him and doesn't let him see his child. You know who I'm talking about if you've been listening to this. There is something wrong with this person. They lie, they get angry, they're irritable, they're at the point where they're gonna strike you. You know what I mean? He took the air out of, he slashed his ex-wife's tires, for sure. I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? And then he paid for them to make up for it. He took out the air of one of his ex-girlfriend's tires. And now I'm scared that he might do something to me. But luckily I'm leaving in 2 months. Hopefully I come out of this unscathed. Because what's the probability that anybody that he knows is actually going to see this video? The whole point is I'm trying to warn everybody out there to be careful that when your intuition is telling you, get away from this person. Don't believe them. Trust yourself. You're not crazy. Those are not voices. That's your intuition telling you, like, this is a bad person. Like, why are you? And I've been fighting with myself because I've been fighting my intuition and trying to do the logical thing. Like, well, Myra, you know, he cheated, whatever. You know, you forgive him and then you can move forward. And if you could spend another 30 years with him, you know what I mean? And you guys can get past this and whatever. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. You know, that people may look pretty on the outside, but deep down inside they're hurting. And I wasn't willing to spend the rest of my life hurting with another human being that I knew was lying to my face. You could look at me in the face and be like, but I love you. We were just sitting across from each other, standing across from each other by my car. And I'm like, but I love you so much. Like, we could be so happy together. And he's like, Myra, I just want to get back with you. I just want to be with you. Just let me try. Let me be with you. And I'm like, I want to, but I don't believe you. He's like, why don't you believe me? I said, I don't know. I just don't believe you. And I was right. I went to the house and I confronted that girl. And then I left and then I came back and I knocked on the door one more time. I'm like, look, I'm just telling you right now, you think he's going to work? It's 11 o'clock at night. Who's going to work at, it's 10 o'clock. Who's going to work at 10 o'clock at night? He's going to meet another girl. Just so you know. And I said, you better get checked because I'm guarantee you got herpes. I can guarantee that. And whatever, right? I'm being honest. And you have to get checked. Because one of the reasons I did not get back with him is because I felt there were so many women that I caught him with. And I found out, and I talked to these women, and they admitted everything. I didn't tell him what they told me, but they told me everything. I know everything. He doesn't think, and he doesn't know that I know everything, but I know everything. Because you know what? At the end of the day, women stick together. Not this one. This one's going to stay with him because she thinks she's got a good one. She has no idea. And one of the reasons I wouldn't get back with him is because I don't want to be with a man who's constantly sleeping with other women and then bringing home a disease. I don't need that in my life. I don't. I just want to get married. I want to have a child. I want to find a good man that I can spend the rest of my life with. And we can experience life together. I don't need excuses. All he does is make excuses. You know why there's so many excuses? Because he's lying. And he's trying to meet up with all these other women and he doesn't want to change his habitual pattern. So I'm making this to let you know, if you meet a very tall, handsome man, might have a beard, might not, who recently changed his religion, who ex-cop, ex-military, takes dance classes, or used to take dance classes, just got inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame, you think he's the sweetest guy in the whole world, be careful. He's a liar, he has a horrible temper, and don't say that nobody ever told you. If you meet this guy, stay away from him. Because even his daughter's mother won't let him near that child without her being there. And there's a reason women do that.